guarantees the right to housing. And it's not by mistake that our main demand is really decent housing for all. But we know that the house cannot be built on air. We need that soil, we need that land in order for those decent homes to be built. Hence, land comes first. So our demand is that if government cannot therefore provide housing for everyone, which is not easy, we know, but we're saying the government should rather provide service side, should provide pieces of land so that people can start investing so that they can actually build homes for themselves.
Human rights and democracy. And today I have the great honor and pleasure to announce that the Abahlali Prize of 2021 is awarded to S'bu Zikode. Of what it means to have the right to housing and land on board. We hope that you all can join us in the digital prize ceremony on Thursday, the 21st of April at 4:30 p.m. South African Standard Time. I send my warmest congratulations to S'bu Zikode on winning the prize, and thank you for all the great work you and the South African shackdwellers movement, ABM, do. Thank you and goodbye.
Diplomat Per Anger was a role model for his time during the Holocaust. And this year's prize winner, S'bu Zikode, is really a role model in our time, especially for the poor and for the young people.
Congratulations once again to the Per Anger Prize. How do you feel?
Thank you, Minister. I am grateful and I am very excited, humbled and honored for such a wonderful prize named after a brave man and selfless man like Per Anger.
As you all know, today's gathering is in the honor of Mr. S'bu Zikode. And I'm having severe difficulties pronouncing the name, but every one of you know exactly. And we have met over several weeks now and talked to each other. And my only comfort is that you have the same difficulties pronouncing my name. And that makes us brothers. And who is this year's recipient of the Per Anger Award to Human Rights Defenders. S'bu, we are delighted to host you, your wife Cindy, and your friends from the ABM in celebration of the recognition of your critical contribution to upholding human rights in the area of housing and land rights. The motivation of the Per Anger Prize jury for this year's award is as follows. In spite of being targeted and threatened, S'bu Zikode shines as a spotlight on injustice committed against society's most marginalized citizens. His effort helped increase awareness of what it means to have the right to housing and land. S'bu, when you were at the same age, 30, as Per Anger was in wartime Budapest, you co-founded the movement you are the leader of. You are the worthiest of winners of this prestigious award, which is given to grassroots activists working against the odds to make a real and lasting difference for the greater good of the communities. I have had the great pleasure and opportunity to interact with you several times over the last few weeks. And I must say I'm deeply impressed by your determination and the great skill with which you promote your important cause. And I'm pleased that you already yesterday and also today have had meetings with the Swedish Minister of Culture and Democracy, and that you on Friday will have a longer talk with our Minister of Foreign Affairs on the topic of how political and social rights must be two sides of the same coin. S'bu, you have taken the fight for the right to home and land for the most vulnerable in shack settlements, highlighting the difficult living conditions where there is no water, electricity, sanitation. The fight for dignity and decent life, not least for women, children, and minority groups. You stand up for rights of those whose voices are not always and sometimes never listened to, despite challenges and threats to yourself and to your movement. You have made it clear from our first phone call, when I had the honor of informing you about the award, that you are here because of your movement, and that you have achieved with your movement. Stronger together in the interest of the poorest. I now formally invite you up here and would like, as a representative of the Swedish government, hand over to you the 2021 Per Anger Award for Human Rights Defenders. Since we promised it should be a party, let's toast. So a toast for S'bu too, don't you think so? Yeah. S'bu, this is for you and your movement. Skål.
And I am very humbled and honored. I am forever grateful. Mr. Ambassador, all the European diplomats representing your respective countries in Europe, the family of Abahlali baseMjondolo, Comrade Nobala, our national chairperson, friends, Comrade Richard, baseMjondolo, my bishop, your prayers, my beloved family, my wife Cindy, who has not given up on me, my daughter, who has experienced the difficulty of having to have families who are committed to this kind of work. I want to start by just thanking my family. I've never had this opportunity. Maybe I should. Because I'm too busy to really spend some time with them. But one thing for sure, during the hardest journey that we've been through, Usindi has never said to me, you got to choose now between me and Nalendo Yako. I have had activists reaching a point where a wife will say, you better choose between me and your Abahlali, your strata. Usindi has never said that. She has agreed that we are going to die together when time comes. That's the kind of courage I am lucky to be associated with. Families are important, family values are important. That's how Abahlali is built, on strong family values for a strong neighborhoods, and of course, our cities, our provinces, nations, and across the society. We can only succeed when we build strong family values. That is why I want to value the family that I have. We've been through a lot, but this moment is really to say thank you to the bigger family of Abahlali. It's been a collective effort. Before me, I have a comrade from Churchland Program, Comrade David Nzeng, who happens to associate and partner with Africa Grupena, the organization that has nominated me. I am forever grateful. I continue to be humbled. And I so wish that each and every Umhlali, a resident of the shack, would have the feeling that I have today. I feel so jealous that I might be not sharing what I feel enough with those who have made me. I have been made by the very same gogos and kulus, the grannies that cannot speak English, that are taken for granted. The very same people who are seen as violent, as criminals in those shanty towns have made who I am today. But I'm forever grateful for Sister Angela Majola, who introduced me to a Boy Scouts movement over 30 years ago. When I was still a young man, I was introduced to a Boy Scouts association, and my honor is to be trusted. Duty to God, duty to my country, duty to the world is what I was brought up with. I am forever grateful. To the Swedish people and the Swedish government, it's unbelievable what you are saying to me, to us, and to the entire South Africans. Although my own government cannot see value in the work that we do, but you do see value. We salute you for that. Without wasting any time, I am just here to say thank you. Thank you. If it wasn't of you, your support, the journey has been very long. I have scars on my back, not only physical, but emotionally I've been through a lot. So, but today I am surprised that those scars are turned into some form of jubilation that I've never imagined. I hope the work, the Churchland Program, the Socio-Economic Rights Institute, Bishop, with your many prayers, I hope your work has not gone in vain. But lastly, I do want to dedicate this prize not only to Abahlali, but to the 18 activists of Abahlali who have lost their lives. Did we really have had to lose them before we can be recognized? Did we have to suffer before somebody can recognize us? I don't think so. But wherever they are, their spirit lives, and I'm sure they will wake up one day and be proud that we've not suffered and died for nothing. Amandla! Thank you so much. Thank you to one and all.
I am originally from the Eastern Cape, but I grew up in KwaZulu-Natal in Margate, about 45 minutes away from Durban, same region as our prize winner. I am going to sing a song that I wrote called Noma Totolo. I wrote Noma Totolo to celebrate freedom. It's a song about taking a long journey and enjoying the freedom of traveling, as many South Africans associate traveling with freedom, as they remember the years when they were not free to travel. Listening all the way from Pretoria is Mgoza Kalanga, Kunene, Ndidane ngokudida madoda. Sibusiso sithi halala, sivuyisana nawe. I dedicate this song to you. Ndihambile ibhasi yawusikisi abantu bathi molweni isiqhelo siyayoyisa ingqondo. Ndihambile ibhasi yawusikisi abantu bathi molweni isiqhelo siyayoyisa ingqondo. Unomathotholo kwetshilwa ingoma haya iphela ndithi mandisukume ndixhenze. Unomathotholo kwetshilwa ingoma haya iphela ndithi mandisukume ndixhenze. Yonke into iqaqambile.
Abahlali baseMjondolo, namhlanje bengithweswa uphaphele gwalagwala. Njengoba nibona nje le ndondo ibizwa nge-Enterprise. Ikhushwa uhulumeni waseSweden. Bahlonipha futhi babonga umsebenzi wethu bahlali baseMjondolo. Ngakho ke sijabule kakhulu njengabahlali, nami ngijabule siqu sami. Lokhu kuyinkomba ke bahlali ukuthi imisebenzi enzima njengale sibhekene nayo njengabahlali iyakhokha emva kwesikhathi. Ukubekezela kunikeza ukuthi ngelinye ilanga umuntu azuze. Nayi ke indondo njengoba ngiyimukela la ezindlini zenxusa laseSweden, ngiyimukela egameni lenu. Ngiyalazi usizi lwenu nokuhlupheka kwenu. Ngakho ke le ndebe ayisinikeze ithemba ukuthi imisebenzi wabahlali akusiyinto encane, akusumdlalo, kodwa uhlonishwa emazweni angaphandle. Ngithi ke ngale prize asi-enjoye sonke njengabahlali baseMjondolo. Ngiyafisa futhi ukuyidlulisela kubo bonke abahlali sebadlula emhlabeni. Omsebenzi yayo iholele ekutheni size sifike la sikhona. Ngakho ke ngifisa ukunibonga nonke. Ukubekezela kwenu, uthando lwenu. Lokhu kuyinkomba ke ukuthi uZikode namhlanje mayemukela indondo efana nale, sonke ebahlalini singayimukela. Noma ngabe sihlala ezindaweni ezinjani ezinyantisikazi, noma ngabe sibhekene naluphi usisi. Leli ithemba lethu ukuthi noma ngabe asihlonishwa eNingizimu Afrika, uhulumeni wethu akayibona imizamo yethu emihle senzele isizwe nomhlaba. Kodwa amanye amazwe nabanye ohulumeni njengohulumeni waseSweden ubonile umzabalazo wabahlali. Uyawuhlonipha futhi uyawubonga. Ngakho ke bahlali, le ndondo eyethu sonke asijabulele. Kusho ukuthi umsebenzi wethu akufanele siubukele phansi, afanele siuthathe kancane, unconywe emazweni. Akube njalo. Amandla.
S'bu Zikode,
baseMjondolo since baqala ngo-2005 sibhekene nosizi asiyiboni impumelelo asiyiboni ne-freedom ne-democracy le eyalwelwa ngesikhathi sobandlululo sasilwa nohulumeni wamabhulu ngesikhathi sobandlululo silwela ukuthi masikhuleke sasingazi ukuthi akhona namabhulu amnyama thina abahlali baseMjondolo sizothi asikaze siyibone nakakodwa impumelelo asikaze siyibone nakakodwa lento abayibiza nge-freedom. Into bebeyenza bafike eMjondolo bafike basigcwalisa amabhasi bathi amabhasi amahala gcwalane emabhasini basithumele ezitedium basinika inkipha ukuthi masigqoke inkipha siphelezela amadoda amabili akhululekile arich anemali sothi sikhululekile siqamba amanga nathi siziqambile amanga bese sinikweza ukudla take away into izingane sidle then musuphinde letha uyodlani phelezela amadoda hamba ngemoto eziphakeme iphi nale freedom? Where is this freedom?
Thina njengabantu abasha asizile ukuzo celebrate sizozila sizilele lo suku obaba mkhulu bethu abalifela nabantu abasha namaqhawe alifela ngethemba lokuthi liyoletha ushintsho empilweni zethu okwakuyi freedom. Le freedom ekukhulunywa ngayo asikaze sayibona. If wawukhona umbala we freedom okanye sasike sayibona ifreedom ngabe unqobile nzuza usaphila ngabe unkululeko ogwala usaphila ngoba sasingeke sibe khona isidingo sokuthi kube khona umbutho ofana nabahlali baseMjondolo. Sasingeke sibe khona ukuthi isidingo sokuthi iphoyisa lihambe liyodubula ama comrades ngoba ayingxenye yabahlali baseMjondolo. Ukukhona bahlali baseMjondolo kusho kona ukuthi inkululeko into esingakasondeli ngisho ukusondela kuyona kusemaphupho nje lawa ephupha ubabamkhulu. Basebenzile kodwa kwathi mase kufanele bathathe lokho abakulwele baxoshwa ngephepha. Constitution, Bill of Rights ekhuluma nabantu abanakho nothi abangenakho.
Namhlanje akulona usuku lwenkululeko kithi. Umuntu omnyama akakhululekile uma engenawo umhlaba. Awukhululekile uma ungenayo indlu. Lento abayibiza nge-Freedom Day eyabo akuyona. Asikwazi ukucelebrate into okungeyona. Thina siyo celebrate mhla wonke umuntu wanendlu, wanomhlaba, wanesithunzi. Okwamanje eyabo. Thina sisalwela inkululeko. Kodwa futhi siphinde sirecognize umsebenzi osuwenziwe i-movement ngaphansi kobuholi bukaBaba Zikode. Akuyona yakhe yedwa eyethu sonke ngoba sibambene ngendlela efunekayo. Kubalekile ukuthi siqonde ukuthi isho ukuthini njengoba bengakwazanga ukuyirecognize la eSouth Africa. Ngoba vele into soyabakubona ukuthi bebhekelele izifundo zethu kodwa kubhekelele izifundo zabo.
I want to say at a very personal level that I have found in S'bu a real brother, a real friend and a real comrade in the way, in the kind of relationship that I have with Biko. Now, I don't want to sound unfair and compare the two. Actually, it's not such a bad thing to compare both of them because they're both outstanding human beings. They're people who give up their time and their energy and their life so very freely for the sake of peace and healing and justice.
Ubani ofana mina masekwile isikhathi nje ekuthiwa abantu abanjengabo Zikode kumele umbize njengomuntu ozothi uma ngomela amanzi ngaphuza kweni uma ngilambile ukutya kimi uma kumnyama ukukhanya kimi angazi ukuthi ngambeka kuphi. Ingakho ngithi mhlambe yena uzongibeka la ethanda.
Kanti kuzoba nini thina simasha? Kuzoba nini thina simasha? Kuzoba nini thina kanti sihlangene la sishiya amakhaya ethu sihlangene la ngoba azitholakali lezi zinto esizifunayo.
Ulo 15 years ethu ya celebrate unenduku yamaphoyisa ejule kabi ngoba noma ngabe ukhuluma naluphi uhlaka likahulumeni impendulo amaphoyisa. Angazi kuzoke kufuneke ngesinye isikhathi ihlalelwe phansi indaba kahulumeni nokusebenzisa budedengu amandla amaphoyisa noma kusitshela ukuthi uhulumeni usesijikele amaghanaians ayekhuluma ngokuthi emva kokuthi bethole independence seyiqala izinto ehamba lomgude ohamba kuzona kuthina manje bathi i-revolution is eating its babies.
We cannot be relaxed. We still a long way to go from where we started. There are a lot of things that the country is not going to deliver, my comrades. When you say you got hope in the political parties, kosha. Bazo ibo okhethwa uzoyibona bazokhombisa kanjani. Sebekhombisile ngo 25 years ANC yasikhombisa. Ibo okhethwa abakubona. Abakunaki. Abakhulumi nawe where was
27, 28 years later, we are living in what is a bluff, a fake democracy, something we have been fed in our minds and made to believe. And indeed, as people on this land, we have the right to stand up and say enough is enough. On this Unfreedom Day, we are blessed to have Louis S'bu, who has given us a home where we can raise these issues, a voice for the voiceless, somewhere to go when there is no hope.
Aye, Abahlali! It's so beautiful to be here today. There's so many things for us to celebrate. The prize, and you know, namhlanje sithi halala uBab Zikode. Umongameli labampofu, umongameli wethu. It's been a very special week. You know, people have been so happy and excited about this recognition. It's a recognition for S'bu, for his courage, for his principle. You know, as Faisal said, some of the people here have been working together for 15 years. You know, Shamita, David, Bishop Ruben Philip, Des was there at the beginning, of course Faisal. It's a long time. 15 years is a long time. A lot of arrests, a lot of fires, assassinations, thousands and thousands of meetings. In all of that time, I had never once seen S'bu slip. He always listens more than he speaks. He always listens very, very carefully. You know? In the meeting, the people in that meeting will decide. His role is to make sure everyone speaks. That's a real leader, and it's completely different to all these politicians. It really is completely different. But of course, it's also Unfreedom Day, and I think it was 2006, the first time Abahlali said, "Panzi get fake freedom," you know. Said ayikho nkhululeko yabampofu eMzansi. People were shocked because in 2006 everyone was still celebrating this freedom, but there was no freedom for the poor. There was no umhlaba, izindlu, isithunzi, ugesi. It wasn't there. Today, everybody knows that it's a fake freedom for the poor. Everybody knows. And it's because of the strength of this movement. This movement traveled from Kennedy, from M'jondolo, across the world now. The ideas, the voices. It's gone across umhlaba wonke.
Abahlali baseMjondolo, an intellectual movement formed in 2005 in Durban, remind us that there are many South Africans who feel like the freedom they are meant to have is a cruel joke, which attempts to gloss over the social concern of citizens. This day actually reminds us how unfree we are. All South Africans may be officially free to vote in government election, but why vote for a system that ignores our human needs? When can we celebrate a day where we'll be freed from this violence and celebrate equal rights for all? How will true liberty ever reach our soil? It is time we stop putting responsibilities on others and begin trying to make difference within ourselves. There is no easy road to freedom. As we celebrate Freedom Day, let's keep in mind that some of us are still fighting a battle to be free. Until that battle is won, none of us has truly seen freedom. Lastly, our president, Mr. Zikode, once said, the price for land, decent housing, and dignity has been paid in blood. Freedom should mean emancipation, from poverty, unemployment, racism and sexism, and other forms of discrimination. Freedom should mean a better life for all. Amanda!
From Gabon, it will make in the Baba squad. For the out to the world, not just only in South Africa, out to the world. He never spoke about building mega city in South Africa, but he was talking about us. For South Africa, the government and the really did was suffering under the government. So thank God for saying all those things to all the people in the world. And then they have seen, they're speaking about people, not only yourself. That's why they put you on track to win this award. We welcome it together in Gabon as well, even though you have pain. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Amanda! Amanda! I'm sure that when you Abahlali, that always Bituni Beatrice Matebula, Nubia Ajalabile. Email Alfan Kula Flora, so Shoshi Abasebaka Shaka, Bakabula, Nani, Suka, compliment. So niima hikubulabula bona tani Abahlali hi ri ya khesisa president leswi mi nga swi endla mi endli vanhu na hina hi vanhu hikwalaho ka n'wina ha mi khesisa ku va mi kumi trophy hikwalaho ka hina ha mi khesisa Izakini na hina swinene ha tsaka na hina loko hi mbale swikipa leswi hi va proud ngopfu lomu hi humaka kona loko hi mbale swikipa leswi vana vanhu va hi languta va hi hlaya
The price for land, decent housing, and the right to the city is paid in blood. Brutal and unlawful eviction continue to terrorize our communities. No human being should live in substandard housing conditions without access to water and sanitation, where there is no road access, where there is no electricity, and where there is no refuse collection. I have dedicated my life to the fight for equal rights for all South Africans. And I am deeply honored and humble to stand here today and to receive the Peanga Prize. A prize named after a man who bravely resisted fascism and saved many lives. I want to extend my deep gratitude to the jury, the Living History Forum, Minister Amanda Lind, and Africa Kruperna for nominating me. We all know that many of the people of Sweden, as well as their government, gave strong support to our people during apartheid. So it is an honor to receive a prize like this from the Swedish government. I have been carried through the last 15 years by the movement Abahlali baseMjondolo, a movement of the poor, of people living in shacks. We have more than 80,000 members. The majority are women. We insist that the dignity of all human beings must be recognized. We should be included in all decision makings that affect us. Our right to the city should be recognized. Our settlement should receive adequate services, and we should be able to build our homes and communities in peace. We wish to see a much deeper form of democracy in our country and in the world. We resist the idea that because we are poor, we must be confined to the dark corners. We have organized in solidarity with strugglers all over the world and built the relationship with movement in different countries. The struggle is global. The award of the per acre price means that our struggle for land, decent housing, and dignity has been recognized as just and legitimate in Sweden. It is an acknowledgement that the poor have experiences and ideas from which others can learn. Learn also from the courage of Abahlali members who have continued to organize despite repeated violent evictions, serious intimidations, and assassination. An award for me is an award for the movement and for the determination and the courage of all the people who have kept our movement going for 15 years. Despite very serious repression, which has included arrest, death threats, and murder. Per Enger was a brave man. Our comrades who have lost their lives, people like Tulindlovu and Kululeko Gwala, were brave people. Today, courage meets courage. Principle meets principle. No legitimate and democratic movement or activist should be criminalized and attacked when organizing to build the power of the oppressed from below. All evictions leading to homelessness must be stopped, and those responsible for illegal and violent evictions must face criminal charges. The poor are not poor by choice. It is the history of colonialism, apartheid, and land dispossession that keeps us in deep poverty. The commodification of land and state corruption keep us poor. This is why the social value of land must come before its social value, its commercial value. This is why it is important to organize to build democratic power from below. This requires building solidarity between and within struggling communities. This is what has kept us strong. It is very dangerous to be an activist in South Africa and in many parts of the world. Because we are well organized and can stand firm to protect our rights. This is perceived as threatening to people in power. There's a serious problem of political gangsterism in South Africa, and especially in the city of Durban, in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Hundreds of people have been assassinated. Corrupted politicians who enrich themselves and their families at the expense of millions of people of South Africa have often objected our work. They have used the police, militarized security guards, and izinkabi, those are the hitmen, to kill us. Abahlali have faced serious repressions. We have been beaten, tortured, in police custody, slandered in the media, and subject to open death threats. Some of us have been murdered with impunity. I am amongst those who have suffered serious repression, including arrest, torture, the destruction of my home, slander, and death threats. In a period of 10 years, our movement lost 18 activists. The price for land and dignity has been paid in blood. These matters have not been investigated. Our lives count for nothing to the state and to much of society. We are treated as if we are beneath the law. This award says that our lives count to you. This kind of support forces the repressive forces that we confront to recognize that we are not people that do not count. It helps to keep us safe. Today, I call on all the people of South Africa, mostly young people, as they are the future of our country and the world, to support our struggle for land, decent housing, and dignity. I also call on the government of South Africa to stop evicting poor people and to stop the use of violence when dealing with the poor people. I call on the government to consider putting the social value of land before its commercial value. I also call on the government of South Africa to protect, uphold our hard-won constitutional democracy. You have my deep gratitude and the deep gratitude of Abahlali baseMjondolo. I hope that we can work together to continue the struggle to humanize the world. Together, we stand for solidarity, respect, and democracy. We all people that count. I thank you.